How's it going, everybody? My name is Doodles, and now I get asked about this quite a bit, and I see it a lot on the likes of Facebook groups and internet forums, and that is, how do I go about recording at home, and what equipment do I need, and more specifically, how much is it going to cost me? And then when it comes to the cost, it really is a Pandora's box in that you can get the bare minimum you need to get yourself going, or you can spend tens of thousands of pounds of dollars to get the dream studio set up, even in a home recording situation. But like me, most of us are on a budget, so that is what we're going to talk about today, because this is home recording on a budget. So right, although this isn't the first video on YouTube to go into this subject, I do find that most do miss a couple of key elements, or at least in my mind, and most of them either go down the amp simulator route or mic and a guitar cab route, but not both. And not everyone can mic a live amp like me due to noise restrictions, and or maybe don't have the budget to get the amps for the tone that they desire. And some people think that amp simulators are the devil's work and just should not be touched, whereas I use them for mainly noise and financial reasons. So I'm going to go into both and give you some advice on equipment that you can buy for whichever route you want to go down. And I'm also going to set a budget of around $500 or £350, because currency conversion works out around there, give or take. We might go a little bit over, it depends on the gear that we use and the prices. But even if we do go over, prices do fluctuate, sales happen, products get discontinued, products go down in price when new lines come out. And inflation rises prices up too, so it's only a guideline, so whatever prices I give you, only take them with a grain of salt and do your research before you buy your own products. So right, let's get started. So right, the heart of your home studio setup is going to definitely be your computer. Whether you're using a desktop or a laptop, or you're running Windows or Apple's Mac OS, it really doesn't matter, because both are suitable for a home studio setup. I run a i5 processor with 16GB of RAM, and it is more than capable of doing everything I throw at it for this channel. However, I also have this, which is a £150 HP laptop, probably as low budget and low end as you can get. It's got a pretty weak processor in it. I think it's about a 1.3 GHz quad and a 4GB of RAM, and I've recorded videos and songs for this channel using this, so probably 99% of you out there will have a computer of some kind at home that will run anything you need to throw at it. Ideally, if you've got 8GB of RAM, that will see you through, but if you've only got 4, you should be able to still get going. So yeah, whatever laptop you've got at home or desktop, that will be perfectly fine. So for that reason, seeing as though we all own one, I'm not going to include it in the $500 budget, because yours will do just fine. So right, if the computer is the heart of your studio setup, and this next thing is most definitely the brain, and that is your audio interface, this should be the first thing that you go out and purchase when you are setting up your own home studio, because without it you won't be able to record at all, because whether it's miking a guitar cab or using amp simulators, the signal from your guitar goes into this, and that allows you to record with the software and programs that we're going to get into a little bit later on. What I've got here is the one I use, and this is a Focusrite 18i20, and although it is far beyond budget and not what I'm going to recommend, I'm still going to go down the Focusrite route, which is why I've shown you it. This one has 18 inputs and 20 outputs, which is perfect if you record a drum kit, a live band, or multiple instruments at once. But for a lone guitar player or a solo musician, then a Focusrite 2i4 is probably what I would recommend. It's basically the baby brother of this. It has 2 inputs and 4 outputs, which is perfect for either miking a guitar cab, using amp simulators, or using an acoustic and a microphone at the same time. And the reason why I'm showing you this one is because this one, like the Focusrite 2i4, has gain pads on them on the inputs on the front. Gain pads basically reduce the signal that goes into the interface when you're either miking a guitar cab or using amp simulators and recording a DI track, because if you don't, you could clip the track, which basically distorts it and is a absolute no-no when it comes to recording. The Focusrite 2i2 and a lot of similar ones around this budget are cheaper, however don't have this feature, which I believe is absolutely essential. So I would recommend spending a little bit more and going for the Focusrite 2i4. I did a bit of shopping online, both on American and UK sites, and they seem to sit around the $200 range. In America, a lot of the shops at the time of filming this had them on sale for $179, so you may be able to get a good deal if you shop around. And in the UK, they set you back around £130. I'm going to put the total on screen now, and we're going to add it up as we go along. And other products, if you don't want to go down the Focusrite route, although I think personally the drives for these are fantastic. I've been using Focusrite for years and I could not recommend them enough. But there are many products on the market from the likes of Personas, M-Audio, Line 6 and a few others, which I will also link in the description box if you want to check out some alternatives to the Focusrite 2i4. But in my opinion, that will be the best option. Right, so this next thing is very, very vital to your home studio setup, and this is going to be how you are going to record the tracks that you are wanting to do. And that is a digital audio workstation. Basically, that is where all the magic happens. Whether you're recording a cab or using amp simulators, the signal is going to be recorded into this program, and that is where you're going to do all your recording goodness and then make magic and make your next hit record. And then what I would recommend is Reaper. Reaper is a free/cheap, fully fledged professional digital audio workstation. When I say free, you get a 60-day free trial, and then the license is $60 or around £40 to buy. Definitely the cheapest on the market, but that does not mean that it's not good. Many professional studios do use it over the likes of the more expensive ones such as Cubase or Pro Tools, so can't go wrong really. And I use it every day when I record, and I know guys like Fluff used to use it before he switched over to Mac. I believe Glenn Frigger from Spectre Media uses Reaper, and he's a professional audio engineer, so if it's good enough for them. So right, although this next one isn't essential, I believe that if you want to record any form of music, whether you want to do covers, you want to write originals, it really does benefit to have drums. And because of the budget and the likelihood you're not going to be able to record live drums or have the ability to, so you're going to need some sort of drum software. And what I would recommend and what I use every single day when I record is Toontrack's Easy Drummer 2. It is a plug-in VST and standalone software which is all recorded with live drums as well. The samples are taken from live drummers, and basically I would say it is the best one on the market. There is Superior Drummer, which is slightly more expensive, and some people prefer it, some people don't. I personally prefer Easy Drummer, but you can check out either of them and see which one suits you fine. I use it every day. Everything you hear on my channel uses Easy Drummer 2, and I know the likes of Fluff and many other people use it, and it is pretty much the industry standard when it comes to MIDI drums. That will set you back around $150 in the US and about £100 give or take in the UK. There is a few instances where you can get it cheaper. Some interface companies usually give them the Easy Drummer Lite version away with their hardware, so you can shop around. Or Focusrite do one. You can sometimes find it online if you shop around, and then you can upgrade from that to the full version for about half the price. So definitely recommend doing that. I believe that's what I did to get Easy Drummer 2, and I worked out I spent about £50 on it rather than £100. So you can also do that. If not, look out, because Easy Drummer, Toontrack have sales on all the time. Probably 3 or 4 times a year for their stuff, so you can usually pick up Easy Drummer cheap then. Would definitely shop around, but if not, you'd be looking at about £150 and £100 to buy, and I could not recommend it enough. Right, so this is where the video branches off a little bit. I'm going to be talking about using mics very shortly, but for now we're going to talk about amp simulators. I'm going to let you know what I use and what some of the options are out there for you. Over the past few months, pretty much everything you've heard in this channel has been using Positive Grid's bias effects. Personally, I'd say that is my favourite amp simulator out there, but there's many options which we're going to get into very soon. But I, like I said, recommend Positive Grid's bias effects. It's absolutely fantastic. It sounds great, and you'll hear it on everything I do. So if you like what I do, then that will probably be the software for you. A lot of big YouTubers do use it. If you go on their website, the list is endless. And there's also a lot of people, such as guys from the Deftones and that, use it as well. And it's becoming really, really popular in the music and specifically metal community. And I'll leave links in the description box to go check them out. But the basic version of it runs at $99 or about £68 give or take. And the professional version of it runs at $199 or about £135. However, the last few times I've been on their website, they've had about $30 knocked off the sale price. I don't know whether that's maybe like a permanent sale thing that they've got going on or whether that will change anytime soon. But because I'm not 100% sure, I'm just going to set it in the totals over there at $99 or £68. And just in case the sale ever does end, because I don't want you guys to be like, how come you said Bias FX was $69? It's not, it's $99. So we're going to go for that. But if you don't want to go down the Bias FX route, if you don't like it, some of the alternatives out there are Guitar Rig and IK Multimedia's Amplitude. Both fantastic pieces of software. Both great. I just prefer Positive Grid Bias FX personally, but I'll leave links in the description box so you can go check out all the amp simulators that I mentioned. And if you don't want to use amp simulators, then let's talk about using a microphone. So right, if using amp simulators are the works of the devil and is just a no-go for you and you're recording, then you're going to want to record a guitar cab. And if you are, you're going to need a microphone such as one like this. Because microphones are such a diverse thing, you can spend $30, you can spend $30,000 on a microphone, and trust me, you really can. There is a lot to choose from, and if you need more information or you know a lot about microphones, there are many places you can go and research, or if you know what you want specifically, then obviously you can go and buy that. But if you don't, then I'd probably stick to one of the industry standards, and although this isn't it, this is actually a clone, what I would recommend is Shure's SM57. That is pretty much the industry standard when it comes to microphones. It is being used on more albums than you can probably think of, and probably more than you'd like to know. Pretty much every big name album has been recorded using a Shure SM57. True the industry standard, and when you check it out you'll know why. But like I said, there's many microphones out there, and you do your research and find out what's best for you. But if you don't want to do that, pick up a Shure SM57 and you probably won't go wrong. An SM57 will set you back around $99 or £85 in the UK, because for some reason we get really stung on that one. And then we pay probably about $130, $140 in currency conversion. But yep, $99 is what I seem to find them at, and about £85 give or take in the UK. So I'll put that on the list there. So right, although this one doesn't necessarily have to go on the list, I am only including it because I would hate for you to follow this video, buy everything I recommend, go to set it up and realise that you missed one vital piece of equipment, and that is a XLR lead. If you are using a microphone such as this, you will need one, otherwise you can't plug it into your audio interface and record your guitar cab. Some microphones are USB, so you can also check that out, and that is always an option. However, I would personally go for an XLR one. In my personal opinion, just personal preference. And there's many reasons for that, which I'm not going into now, but I'm sure if you Google XLR versus USB, you'll probably find all the information you need. And like I said, not essential to add to the list, but I just want to make you aware that if you buy a microphone such as the SM57, you are going to need one. You can spend as much or as little as you want on an XLR lead, but we'll go for the average, seem to be about $20 or £10, seem to be the sort of average price you could pick one up for. So I'll just use that example, and I'll put that on the list. And if you want to get recording at home, that is pretty much everything you are going to need. So right, if you want to get set up in the home recording world, and this is the equipment that you are going to need, or at least the absolute bare essentials that you are going to need. Obviously, a lot of it is down to personal preference, so you can also choose other things or upgrade to bigger and better versions, or choose your own software that you want. But if you buy everything that I just said in this video, if you go down the amp simulator route, it will cost you approximately $510 or £338, give or take. So we are pretty much set within budget, slightly over the $500 in the dollars, but below in the pounds. And like I said, sales are on all the time, prices lower, prices go up, so it really depends at the time when you buy how much it's going to set you back. But if we go down the mic route, then I've got it here, it will cost you approximately $530 or £365 to buy the equipment that I just said. But once again, prices fluctuate, go up and down, so only take it with a pinch of salt and do your own research before buying your stuff. But we've got within the guidelines, give or take. And that is about the bare minimum that you should spend to get yourself set up in the home recording studio. Really hope you have enjoyed this video. Really hope you've taken something away from it. As I said, everything that I've discussed in this video will be down below in the description box. And I just want to quickly throw it out before the end of the video that all the products that I've mentioned are my own opinions. I'm not endorsed by any of the companies I've mentioned today. I'm not paid to promote their products. I use their products. Everyone that I've said that I've used, I genuinely do use on a daily basis, and that's why I recommend them, because if I wouldn't buy them, I wouldn't tell you to buy them. But the fact that I've paid my own money for these products shows that I truly believe in them. And I think if you buy what I recommend, I think you'll be a very, very happy bunny indeed. And you'll get yourself going quite nicely in the home recording world. And hopefully if you are watching this video so you can set up your own YouTube channel, I really hope to see you on here one day. And if I help you get into this game, then hit me up, let me know, thank me, show me what you're doing, and I'll check it out. But on that note, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys have taken something away from it. We can go into a lot more detail if we chose to, but this is just a sort of quick rundown of the sort of things you will need. But my name is Doodles. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.